Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback and we're on another PTR rework for one of the 5 characters coming up next week. And this week is going to be, today is going to be Stitches. So this bugger right here got a whole bunch of talent changes and they are a little less targeted than I think Johanna's are, but ultimately they're doing a lot of cool stuff for the character that he didn't have previously. So that is step in the right direction for sure. Now, to go over all the talent changes, patchwork creation got changed, but we also got some base ability changes on Stitches that mean probably more before we go into the talents. So your hook is now, after reaching level 13, going to get 40% increased range. That means that you no longer have to pick fishing hook because it's just going in there once you hit 13. Probably pretty good change, so people will actually start selecting other talents, which is really, troubling. Your W Slam didn't change at all. Your E Devour also didn't change at all, but you now have an activatable D button, which is on a 60-second cooldown that didn't exist before. So Shambling Horror is what is going to happen when you hit the D key, and that is going to give you it's going to give you damage in a very large area, and it is going to prevent you from being reduced in movement speed by slows for 5 seconds. So you can't go lower than 110% movement speed for that amount of time. And then basically what the AoE looks like, this. With this skin specifically, it's a big rainbow, and that's pretty cool. But it's just going to apply your Vile Gas, which is the other part of your trait, which everybody forgets that Stitches even has, but it's just a whole bunch of damage over time that spits out. It's going to happen over 3 seconds, and it is going to deal more damage to minions, mercenaries, and monsters. It's really helpful for clear, but that's also going to help us build into Stitches with some of the new talents, because they do take part into buffing that quite a bit. But anyway, your level 1 tier Patchwork Creation, you're going to get 3 armor for every unit affected by Vile Gas, stacking up to 8 times. While Shambling Horror is active, this amount is going to be doubled. So if you're in the middle of a team fight, that's potentially 5 heroes that you get 3 armor off of. If you're in the middle of a minion wave, those count 2. And then if you hit your D button while that's all going, you get double that. So 3 times 8 is 16, that's 24, and then you hit your D button, it's 48. So right around 50 armor when you hit your D if you're using this. Increase regen effects and all healing received by 15% as well, which isn't too shabby. And then Savor the Flavor got changed quite a bit. Still a questing talent, still going to give you regen by quite a bit, but you can only get 150 regen. Like, there's a cap on it now at 100. But it's also going to increase the damage of your Vile Gas, which is your passive, by 2% every time that you hit a hero with your Devour. So that ultimately takes on both an offensive and defensive role, where it used to be just getting regen, which was kind of, whatever. It was regen, and then it would give you another heal over time, which is kind of, yeah. And then Hungry for More gives you 5 base movement speed now, and then Gathering Regen Globes is still going to give you max health, but it's also going to give you an additional 5% move speed every time that you collect 20 globes. So 5% on the base, then you get 20 globes and you get 10% base, which is pretty good because I don't think it used to give you base movement speed. I could be wrong, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't particularly love the talent, but it still exists. So level 4, the change, there are quite a few changes. So playtime is going to only reduce the cooldown of your slam now. So basic attacks and the inner area of slam are going to reduce the cooldown of just your W now, which is going to be a pretty good change considering some of the later talents. But all that being said, it used to be that it would reduce the cooldowns of all of your abilities. That's been removed now, just to the one. Vile Cleaver. Basic attacks against enemies with Vile Gas are going to deal 35% more damage, and they're going to spread the gas to nearby enemies. I don't specifically know about that. It's probably better clear talent, but you do have to apply the Vile Gas, which means you have to hit someone with the inner area of your slam, or you have to auto attack them first. So it's got a bit of a wind up to it. I don't know. Tenderizer got the squished talent treatment. So not only is it going to slow people with your basic attacks by 25% now, it's also going to give you what Cannibalize used to do and give you 2% of Stitch's max health back when you hit people with your autos. So that talent just shot up in priority. Really, really good there. Level 7, Serrated Edge, didn't change at all except for the fact that it gives you mana back now. Second helping is Stitch's lone talent. So we're going to get 1 additional charge with a 6-second cooldown between uses on our E, which is fantastic, which is a shitload of healing. And now Stitches is going to get a shield every time that he hits that button on a hero with his max health. No, it's not even hero, it's just period. Whenever he uses Devour at max health, he's going to get a 15% max health shield. And then every time that he dies, that shield goes down by 3%. So eventually you can lose it all, but you're still getting 2 charges of Devour, which is really big for your healing. So all in all, I don't think that's ever going to be a bad talent, even if you do manage to die repeatedly and make that shield suck. Putrefaction is a new talent, and it is going to, while your D is active, Vile Gas is going to reduce healing by 30%, and then Vile Gas is also going to heal Stitches for 60% of the damage dealt. So I think you can build into that and get a decent amount of healing from it, but I'm not super sure that that's going to be better than the other two. Definitely seems like the weaker of the 3. And it turns out with Stitch's new talents, they're all kind of, you can see these like patterns of some are very good, some are very weak, some might have to have specific builds around them, so it's kind of weird, but whatever. Bile doesn't change at all, neither does Gorge, but Bile does have a new 20, which is going to be really cool when we get there. 13, all of these are different with the exception of Meat Hook. So Meat Hook does the exact same thing. Hooks get you 20% of your max health, and your basic attacks are going to refresh the duration of that effect. So you're getting 20% of your max health over 4 seconds, and then more basic attacks give you more health regen. Pretty cool. Under Pressure is going to increase Slam's damage by 25, and then after damaging heroes with Vile Gas 6 times, you're going to permanently increase the damage of Slam by 1, up to a maximum of 75. So with the quest completed, you get 100 extra damage on your W. At level 20, that's 328. And then if you hit somebody with the center of the W, that's 50% more damage. So you're doing about 450 with the inner area of Slam. If you're building specifically for Slam, I think that's probably pretty good, but it is going to take a pretty decent while to get going, I feel like. Chop Chop, hitting an enemy hero with a hook or activating Shambling Horror is going to give us 50% increased attack speed for 5 seconds. So it's not the inner area of Slam anymore like it used to be, and it's not on level 4 anymore, but that 50% increased attack speed on your hook or your D is actually a lot more, considering that you get the slow, or you get the and you get the healing, the 2% healing from the Tenderizer. So definitely a buff to this talent, but we'll have to see if it makes sense the way things go. 16, Pulverize now slows by 80% for 0.75 seconds and reduces the armor of heroes hit by 10. So that's what I was saying earlier, when you have your Slam cooldown reduction, this is the talent that you want to pick to make that really shine. This is an older talent that Stitches used to have, and it is just probably going to bring him really, really right back into the meta. Digestive Juices hasn't changed. You know what? Maybe it has changed. I know it used to reduce the 50% damage for 5 seconds. That's always been the thing. But I don't think it used to do that 307 damage over 5 seconds. And then the cooldown reduction by 5 seconds as well. Not sure. Seems really strong. I mean, no matter what you do, this was never a bad talent to begin with, but now it seems really good also. And then Flare Up is now, instead of just hitting with your hook, you're going to get the burning damage when you hit your hook or you hit your D, your Shambling Horror. So lots of just AoE damage that you're just going to increase by 150% when either of those things happen. So 33, 66, it's right around 80 damage per second at level 20. So not sure that's the best at the tier. Probably the weakest, if we're being honest, but, you know, whatever. And then at 20, these talents got so much fucking cooler. So there is no more Shambling Horror at level 20, the one that, you know, lets you not be slowed. That's baked into your D now. But the buff to Putrid Bile is insane. So it's going to deal 100% more damage to heroes, but each time Putrid Bile damages an enemy hero, the duration of Stitch's next death timer is reduced by 2% up to a maximum of 80% total reduction. You lose all of this progress when you die, but at the same time, if you are in a late game fight and you have to suicide in there with your Putrid Bile, I mean, this makes your death a lot more meaningful because you can come right back really fast. I would suggest avoiding the lone talent if this is what you're aiming for at 20, but at the same time, this seems really, really strong, bringing back Resurgence of the Storm in new and interesting ways. Hungry Stitches hasn't changed. Master Hooker, though, reduced the cooldown of Hook by 5 seconds, and then enemy heroes hit by Hook have 100% reduced healing for 2 seconds. So you hit him with an Honor Grenade when you hit him with a Hook. I mean, that's fucking crazy. And then if you manage to hit an allied Hook with Helping Hand, they're unkillable for 2 full seconds. Now that does take into account the flight time of the Hook, so I imagine moving time, they'll probably be closer to like 1.75 or 1.5 seconds of reduced healing or unkillable, but still, that's crazy good, and you're reducing the cooldown by 5 seconds, and if you're taking Serrated Edge from earlier, that is going to be a full 10-second reduction on your Hook, which is a 6-second hook on a character that wants to do nothing but hook. I mean, that's fucking disgusting. Gas Bag, activate Shambling Horror, gives you Unstoppable for 3 seconds, pretty good. And then you're going to reduce the cooldown by 20 seconds, which is going to drop it to 40, which is still really good. Stitches can't be slowed for 5 seconds, that's on a 40-second cooldown, and if you're building into this ability, you're going to get all the effects of that much more often. So, all in all, I think there are a lot of really cool things that you can do with this character now, but I'm having a little bit of trouble putting them all together. So, let's see. First off, let's go with, we'll take Savor the Flavor to begin with. And then we'll do the Tenderizer for the auto attacks. We'll take Second Helping for the shield and the extra charge, which is going to help us stack it more. Probably take Gorge because Putrid Bile won't be super helpful, because I think this is mostly going to be bursty kind of stuff. We'll take Chop because we've taken Tenderizer, and those two synergize super well. Your digestive juices at 16, and then at 20, we'll probably end up taking Gas Bag. So, since we're level 20, our hook range is already pretty ridiculous. We got 15% max health, shielding. Don't come towards me, man. Okay. You can see the big shield there because we had all of our health. Slam him. Look him in there. Yeah, there's the auto attack speed, just slowing him down. Oh my god, that feels good. Then he's taking the additional damage. He's doing less damage. We're just slapping him in the face. The reason I picked Asmo is just because you're going to see this hero a lot more often, and I think that the tanks in this round of reworks are going to be really good at killing him, honestly. That being said, oh, he wants some more. Let's see how fast we can clear. That's not bad. This is just with a couple of auto attacks and a single slam, and if Asmo wasn't here bothering me, we'd probably be doing even better. So right now our autos are still slowing him. We can get him with another Devour, get the stacks up on that so our passive damage is increasing on him. We're taking minion damage and all that stuff. Bring him on back here. I haven't even hit my D button yet, so we're unstoppable. We're doing the vile gas damage as well. That's pretty good. Probably not the best build in the bunch, but I definitely feel like with a little bit of time that could probably be pretty good. So reset the talents. Now, what I think we're going to end up working with the most here is, let's see. So patchwork creation for the increased health regen and the armor. I feel like that's going to be really helpful. And then we'll end up taking playtime for the reduced slam cooldown. We're actually going to take serrated edge to take those 5 seconds off of the hook, and then do the % health damage, and then get the mana back. And then we'll pick up putrid vial. Actually, that may not be great. No, let's reset those. Patchwork, playtime, serrated edge, and gorge, because we're going to be doing a lot of hooking. And then take meat hook. Take probably pulverize for the armor and the slow, and then we'll take master hooker. And then we've got toggle cooldowns off. You can see that right now. So let's all of his healing's reduced. Quite a bit of time. Go ahead and so this will kind of be another reason to control your gorge too. You're not going to want to do it right away with this build, because if they're gorged, then they are. Your enemies fall before if they're gorged, you're wasting the window that you have with the reduced healing, I think. We can test that though. Let's get that back. Oh, there was a minion. Of course there was a minion. Let's pop those again. Do that. Oh my god, he's unpredictable. The bot is just, I can't predict him. Do one of these. I gotta remember that that D button is actually activatable. So we do that, we eat him. So he went in with 100% healing reduction, and he comes out with regular. So you definitely don't want to gorge right away when you land a hook at 20. And this is also, this is really dependent on hitting hooks. So if you are the type of player who plays stitches and isn't very good at landing those cues, you're probably going to want to shy away. Do one of those. Only if we hit them do we get the cooldown reduction, huh? I see. So it's only with serrated edge, it's only if you hit a hero that you get that cooldown reduction. But that changes it to a 6-second cooldown. I mean, that's crazy good. And you get it again, you could just point blank it, get the 100% heal down, or healing reduction again. And then all this healing that we're getting back from meat hook that we can now take because fishing hook is baseline. I mean, that's crazy good. Stop running away from me. Nuts. Just nuts. Really, really good. I think that's probably going to end up being your go-to build with this character, especially for everyone who already plays him for the hooks, but, you know. And then lastly, let's see. If we're being honest, I think Hungry for More is probably going to be what gets picked most often, but the changes that they made to the other two talents at 1 do certainly feel a bit better. So if we go, we'll take Savor the Flavor, Vile Cleaver, Putrefaction, Putrid Vile, Under Pressure, probably Pulverize still.
Choose a talent.
And then Gift from the Embalmer. Now this is mostly a trait build, but basic attacks against enemies with vile gas are going to deal more damage and spread the gas to nearby enemies. The gas is going to heal us, so that's always useful. The stacks that we're getting from Savor the Flavor are going to be increasing the damage of Vile Gas, and then the damage that Vile Gas does to heroes is going to be increasing our slam damage, which is going to help us pulverize people more often, or pulverize people more effectively, and then we can chase them to deal more damage with our Putrid Bile and our Vile Gas. Let's see how long it takes me to do a camp. Just do one of these. Hit that button, see if that changes anything. I don't need help, Asmo. Stop trying to cheat my... Okay. Well, if you want to come down here and be an asshole, let's just go ahead and pop the Putrid Bile. It's dealing 100% damage. I think the bot was trying to steal the camp. And you can see it down here. Our current death timer reduction is only 12% because there was only one hero that we were hitting with the Putrid Bile, but at the same time, I feel like that camp probably would have gone pretty quick. Let's do these. Yeah, this definitely feels quicker. It's probably not a build that you're going to invest too heavily in, even though it's good at camps. It's not going to be great at camps, so... let's see how this does. Just full health Asmo. Let's toggle the cooldowns real quick. Pop that. Can't be slowed anymore. Reducing his healing as well. I don't know about that. Seems like there is a little bit of a disconnect between the type of damage that you're doing with the build and how often the healing comes back. Kind of like a bruiser build for the character. Definitely felt the weakest. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. We'll be back with either Anduin or one of the other three that we still have to do, but I will see you then.